Good morning. Welcome in. It's time for another installment of Your Life Matters with clinical social worker Dr. Beth Plachetka from Safe Harbor Counseling and Dr. Beth Speaks. And in studio, we have Dr. Beth Plachetka with us. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Not too bad. How are things with you?
They are going well.
Well, that's good, as we are focusing on this topic that we've covered the last couple of weeks into October now with Bullying Prevention Month underway, and especially workplace bullying is kind of where we're focused on these previous few weeks. Today's topic as well centers on that. Just bullying in general, when you hear the word bullying, I think mainly, as you mentioned last week, kids on the playground,
Right.
something that happens at school. That's the first thing, at least, that pops into my head. You know, the mean kid that picks on the other kid in class or what have you. But in the workplace, this happens a lot more than people realize, and it's probably a bigger problem than folks even can imagine.
Yes, it's absolutely a huge problem, and it's contagious because once somebody gets away with it, it almost becomes the norm. People seem to feel like they have to be mean too, rather than follow a system. And I'm really about like education, as I've said to you before, and to the listeners, is it's good to know what's going on. And I'm going to give all of our listeners a resource right now. It's a book title called Healing from Hidden Abuse, written by Shannon Thomas. She's a clinical social worker, and she spells it out very clearly in a lot of different ways. And she's referring to the things that I'm talking to today. I actually used the titles that she used in there, so I want to give her credit.
Okay.
And you can listen to it. She has an audiobook. You can buy the book. But it's the titles that she uses come from movies. So Gaslighting is from an early 40s movie where a husband tried to make his wife feel crazy. And so he would say, "Why did you leave the pot boiling?" And she hadn't been cooking, but he had turned it on, and then, then blamed her. And then she began to feel like, I don't know what I'm doing. And the idea behind gaslighting is it makes you question yourself. What am I doing? Is there something wrong with me? I'm losing it, or I'm getting too old for this job, or I can't remember anything. And when we start thinking those things, then we hesitate to interact normally and become less good at our job. So gaslighting is one technique that you can recognize when bullies are around. Another one is the smear campaign. Now, I don't know if that's from a movie or not, but it does seem like, you hear that in political stuff all the time. I've heard it for decades. You want to make your opponent look bad.
Yeah.
So if there's any way to say anything, even if it's a good thing, if you can twist it so it's a negative, you're going to say it that way because you want people, to think badly. So if you can say, "Oh, you had that for dinner?" Now, it could have been steak and it could have been delicious, but that makes it sound like it was horrible.
Right.
But it includes innuendo, body language, and it gets people also, other people now, to start acting different around you. So you go in and say hi, and people hesitate before they say hi. And you start feeling uncomfortable and start adjusting your behavior. People start isolating or trying to, they either back up or they try to take over. The target does. Nothing good.
Sure.
Now, I bet you know where flying monkeys come from. What movie?
Gotta be the Wizard of Oz.
The
right?
Wizard of Oz. That wicked witch would send out, those poor little innocent monkeys flying around to do her dirty work and capture people. And that's what the bully will also do. They'll tell somebody else the bad news, and they'll pick a person who's likely to intervene, and then that person will go say something. And so, it seems to be coming from all areas, even though the flying monkey has no idea what they're doing.
Right.
They're innocent. They're just saying, "Hey, I heard you needed some help on that report." Nothing. Because targets believe people are good. Last one, narcissistic offense. We all have flaws. Usually we go, "Geez, I'm sorry. I stepped on your thing in the presentation I didn't mean to," or whatever. There are some people who absolutely don't, and they will make a huge deal. They will act like if you say, "Hey, I didn't like the fact that or please don't step on my report again," they will act insulted to the nth degree and make you feel like you've transgressed the world. So those things are things that we want to watch out for if we're at work or on the playground. They do it differently, but it's the same kind of idea. I'm going to tell somebody else that you're a bad baseball player.
Yeah, and with the workplace bullying too, it could be targeted just at one employee, or it could be spread around to several others too. From
Right.
It's not always just the one case scenario. So you can find out more information online, safeharboril.com. You can go to Facebook as well and get Dr. Beth's Facebook or Safe Harbor Counseling for more information and resources. You can contact 630-466-8657. Talk with the folks at Safe Harbor Counseling. Maybe even get Dr. Beth to come and do a public speaking engagement for you as well. We'll see you next week at the same time for Your Life Matters on WSPY.